Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Scoop. Hello, Oscar.
Hi there. How are you?
Feeling pretty okay, I guess. Episode 15. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Um, Kicking my recent CS:GO addiction.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You
Nah.
deleted the game after the last time we played
I'm
it.
sober. I'm sober today. But yeah,
I mean, you deleted the game, didn't you?
yeah. I downloaded it again, and I I downloaded Faceit as well.
Oh, man.
And thanks to Faceit, I think I quit for good now again,
Really?
because it's a lot different to matchmaking.
Yeah, but now
Because
with the CS:GO and Team Fortress source code being leaked online,
oh yeah, I heard people's accounts are again stolen or something.
possibly, yeah, because you basically have the source code of the application, despite it being from, I believe, 2017. You still know how the application is written. Means you can technically find ways to exploit it.
Yeah.
But I also play that a bit, and I am in an elo hell, I guess. I'm basically
And
under level 1. I've dropped.
Faceit.
Yeah, I've dropped a lot. I think I've done like 350 matches in total in Faceit, and
That's a
oh
lot.
man,
Yeah, it's so different because and I guess I expect people to call things, but they don't because they expect you to know.
what?
Yeah, because people talk less than matchmaking, I think, or maybe
Maybe
I don't know.
that's just the low level that we play at, because
No, but
from what
people.
I remember, especially playing Faceit or ESCA, ESCA is like a paid service. People are taking it very seriously because they do not like the default experience of matchmaking. Thus, they are moving on towards these third-party services and
Yeah,
expecting to find other people with similar, I guess, interests, and because
and
some people, yeah.
I guess skill level as well, though. And like the thing with matchmaking, you really get matched with people at your skill level. The thing with I've noticed in Faceit, I got the premium straight away.
Mm-hmm.
The not thing I noticed, I was always bottom fragging pretty much.
Maybe your level did not get adjusted yet. You know, it's the
Maybe that's that. Yeah.
because there's 10 levels and there's like loads of elo places to get yourself positioned in. I have a friend who's constantly grinding, and he's up to, I don't want to like lie, but he has a lot of matches in there. Like we're talking like thousands, and he has like 2000 elo, which 2000,
That's really high.
yeah, is already like level 10, means you're basically up there with the pros.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, there's still a lot of people at level 10.
yeah, there is a lot, yeah. Okay, so he basically has played like, I will quickly pull it up and see, but 2600 matches. So yeah, you know, it's
That's mental.
like playing a lot. But yeah, moving on to like an
topic.
external, no, not the topic, but yes, it's like a segue. Moving on from matchmaking to a service like that can be
Right.
breaking your comfort zone, isn't it? Isn't it the topic of today?
Taking you out of your comfort zone, I guess.
Yeah, sort of.
In a way. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's new. It's a new experience. I remember the first time I played it, I felt a bit scared. I guess, you know, scared of what I'm gonna find there, because people are like, they're very serious. They're very
Yeah.
judgmental if you do mistakes, and
Oh, yeah.
so yeah.
But that's also one of the things I didn't expect was some of the toxicity that we had. And obviously, I was going to get flamed every game because that was bad.
Oh man, it's just there. Yeah.
But sometimes I got one game where somebody, before we even started the game, a dude was already checking out our stats. And he's like, "Oh, this is a shit team." It's like you're not
Yeah.
going to help. You're just like
Yeah.
shooting yourself in the leg, basically, because you're demoralizing your team from the start. So,
Yeah, people do that. People do that.
like, if you're taking the game seriously, you also have to not be toxic because that's part of taking the game seriously. And I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't bad. I was terrible. But yeah.
I mean, online gaming is getting a bad rap, especially for those, especially in those first-person shooters like CS:GO. I remember ESL is the pro tournament organizers and everything, so they do tournaments and they have started petitions and got pro players to sort of like do ads, like advertise those petitions to somehow try and raise awareness about being toxic and just basically being a dick,
Right.
trying
Yeah.
to clear out the community, because I don't know, there's just like very nasty and rude people there.
That's true, but like I remember the days of playing like Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox, where people just like it was part of it. Like everybody's looking back now, and like that was part of it. Everybody just being a fucking complete cunt to each other,
Really.
and everybody looks back at that now, and it was like hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
like,
also
you know.
pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, because
But
someone sort of flaming you and showing your mistakes, I guess.
yeah,
Just
but at
being
age 20, where I'm trying to just like play the game and become,
Oh yeah.
like I'm also taking it seriously. I'm bad, but I'm taking it seriously. And then when somebody else
You're
is
trying to
just,
improve, That's
Yeah.
the thing.
so I can take criticism, but sometimes when somebody at the start of the game is just like, "Oh God, my team is bad."
Oh yeah, that's the casual usual experience of the Dunning-Kruger effect again. Do you remember the effect where people tend to I don't even know.
Yeah,
I've been
overestimate
mentioning
their own
this.
abilities.
Yeah, overestimate the abilities. I've been mentioning this effect so much on this podcast, but it's a very strong thing. And they hop on Face It expecting to have a better experience than just the casual matchmaking, and then they're like, oh my god, no! So these are noobs. These are I don't know. Just finished a Valorant tournament recently.
Yeah, how was that? I was going to ask actually. How was that?
Oh well, we won one game, and then we lost the second one, and then we dropped to the loser bracket, and then we lost that. So basically, I don't know how it happened, but we faced a team in our second game which did not need to play against anyone to go one bracket up. It's just the way that the brackets are formed. It's just like the team was almost like waiting for a winner from the first bracket. Just like,
Right.
I don't know. I was confused.
Then you were
about that.
warmed up.
And we just basically got mold. I don't know. It was just a cool experience to try it out, I guess, but it's nothing too important, I guess. So, yeah.
So how are you finding Valorant? Are you going pro?
That's a good question. I thought that this could actually be it, the breakthrough, let's go, the new game, everything, but starting to realize again, just like proving it to myself, that there's always going to be people who are better than you, who spend more time than you, who grind more than you. It's just basically, they're going to find more time to do the things that make you, I guess, good, because you have to train, it's just like at every single thing in life, you have to practice. But when it comes to playing games, as much as it's a valid income source, for example, I don't know if it's for me. Like, even streaming it. So I realized I'm going to be streaming games. No, I'm going to stop streaming games and start streaming game development, because there is loads of gaming streamers, and not so much value can be gained from those streamers if you hop on their chats and channels, unless you look up to that person, or unless you get like loads of entertainment value from it. There's not so much you can gain. You just hang out, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, and I researched a bit about game development streamers and how it actually helps people. So like first of all, when I'm trying to market my game, that may be the first thing, just to help me out, to just like get some eyeballs on it or whatever. Second of all, when you turn on the stream, it's like your switch to sit down and do work, because when you're trying to work, you may slack off. But once
Right.
there is potential viewership or potential people, watching, maybe even commenting, sort of engaging, maybe sharing their opinions, well, you're in a
Yeah.
different mood. So I thought this could be a good way for me to finally sit down and develop the game, because I've been also just like slacking off from making it properly.
Hmm.
All I needed is just this little push. So I'm hoping that this may be it. So I had woke up this morning, just like had all the overlays reconfigured. So I've created like a totally different look and feel of the stream than the casual one I have. And yeah, I'm basically ready to just roll, I guess. And even if I don't do too much, if the stream keeps rolling throughout the whole time that I'm doing the game, I guess maybe someone will stop by, just to say
Yeah.
hi, maybe. Because I did have some guy stop by and say like, "Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what are you trying to achieve with this piece of code?" And then he's offered suggestions, and then he shared his expertise, and I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think you can think of it this way. Sort of like, wow, thank you for pointing me to this direction, because I didn't know. And it's like, it just helped me develop one sort of feature. So
Yeah.
that is
That's
nice.
cool.
But this
Yeah.
is also sort of getting yourself out there. So if we're coming back to the topic, which we sort of want to talk about, is the comfort zone. I feel like my approach to life wasn't always to like break out the comfort zone too much. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not just going out there, like always doing things out of my comfort zone. But what I'm doing
Yeah.
is like I'm expanding my zone just so it stays there, because you may do a thing that is out of your comfort zone, and then your comfort zone just stays there. It just either shrinks or just stays there, it never
Yep.
really expands much. But my
Yeah.
approach is more like I may as well just gradually. So in terms of streaming, showing your face and just like hearing yourself speak on a microphone, doing these little things, even like this podcast, right? It helps us
Hmm.
both. I don't know if you think it helps you. I think it helps me. Just
Well, I'm
speaking, and
experimenting with it.
yeah.
I feel like it definitely takes me out of my comfort zone. It's not something that I'm used to. And like it's not an unusual thing not to be used to, because not a lot of people a lot of people nowadays, there is a lot of podcasts nowadays, but still a lot of people don't do podcasts, and
Mm-hmm.
like to just have a conversation and just put it out there for
Yeah.
people to listen. But like that's not like, it's not an anxiety thing. It's more of a thing where I'm sharing my opinions that I'm not like certain about, or
Mm.
right, because I don't I'm not a very opinionated person. Like from this podcast, why I do it is because I like kind of I'm put in a situation where I kind of have to explore
Yeah.
things to keep to make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Things that I might have not paid much attention to before, because it's just like, I don't know, it's I wouldn't see much value in it and doing that, because there's a lot of things that you could explore. But because I'm just doing this like on a weekly basis with
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of realize, it's discovering a lot of interesting points of view on the world. Yeah.
See, as long as you enjoy it, that's just the main thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know to what extent it is taking me out of my comfort zone. I think it is, but especially right now because we're locked down. So I'm just a couch potato, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like so lazy, and I'm not doing anything. So when I have to sit down and have a conversation,
Yeah.
that literally is taking me out of my comfort zone. Like rather than scrolling Facebook or whatever, which I normally wouldn't be doing as much as I am now. Like, because when I put myself in a situation of what I normally would be, which is the library,
Mm-hmm. Studying and everything.
that would be the environment where I study. I don't have that environment right now. I have the environment where I sleep, and apparently where I just play video games now.
Really?
So yeah, but
Ah, I think it is increasing the comfort zone or something.
so yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, get your idea of the comfort zone, and I guess you just said it, that you slowly try to increase it.
Well,
I guess.
for example, these conversations, they're not really like moderated. They're not. We just sit down and have a chat. And I've had a question from a friend asking like, how long does it take to prepare for one? And I just like, well, 5 minutes or so. Like trying to push it to the limit where it is effortless to make conversations, because we don't really want this to sound like a lecture. I don't.
No,
I for sure
but also,
don't. But also,
yeah,
yeah,
but
we don't want to just go there and BS everything, just like speak God knows what, like false facts and everything. But so having this ability to, in real time, fact check and entertain new ideas, I think I like it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like most episodes, I think we are just kind of exploring ideas. Like not that we're experts at any of them, but I feel what I try to do is kind of read up on topics as well. I haven't done that a lot recently, but that would be kind of in a way taking me out of my comfort zone, because I can just come in here and have a conversation, or I can come here after a week of researching on a subject, like just in my spare time, like an hour a day or something. Like when I was originally on the podcast, I took it quite seriously, and like I took it as a motivation to kind of stay very cognizant, because right now I'm very much kind of I'm not thinking a lot. But back then, I would make sure to like read some of this book that I had out of the library, which is the 30-second psychology book. And so I would I'd try to read that for a little bit before I came on the podcast, just to kind of get the gears spinning.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm coming on here, and generally I think I'm just having a conversation, which is that allows us to do that. But every time, like I would like to bring more value as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing that you said with like slowly increasing the comfort zone, and so a video I just watched, the inspiration that I got for this topic was a video on the comfort zone, and basically what it was saying is that the longer you spend doing this thing that's outside your comfort zone, your comfort zone essentially doesn't grow, but could say it grows to expand and like engulf that thing, and that thing becomes in your comfort zone because you've been doing it for so long. And and we've said this before, it just becomes a thing that you just do, you don't think about. So that's a way of looking at that, but it's a healthy approach to do it gradually, I think, because that's life.
It's not a game, you can't just like take loads of risks and be fine.
Yeah, you just kind of you build on top of what you have, and slowly move forward, and like try to make sure to be consistent and stuff. But like not entirely, even, because we have times when we work really hard when it approaches to exam times, especially, or I suppose when we're trying to apply for internships, because if we get job interviews, we might have to do coding interviews, right?
Yeah.
So like you'll like coming up to that time, you'll start to maybe do coding challenges and stuff.
Sort of get yourself in the mood and prepare for what's to come.
Like, so there's times where we work harder, and there's times where we don't work so hard. But yeah, it's not like a big jump ever. It's kind of gradual still. It's kind of like a gradual wave throughout your life. Just sometimes a little bit up, but sometimes a little bit down. Like you get a little bit comfortable. Like when you just get onto a job, you have to show that you can perform and everything.
Yeah.
Once you're there for a little bit of time, like you get comfortable, and eventually you maybe get reminded that you have to work harder. But yeah, it's very, that's very natural, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in 3 days. We have the exam coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel the pressure, sort of without... I haven't prepared at all. I just watched a couple of lecture recordings that I had.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like...
I haven't prepared either, yeah. It's just going to be a 3-day grind for me to cram as much as I can.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going to be that for me, because Exams are such a weird thing where you literally have a few hours. So you have like 3 hours, 4 hours, depends on what sort of exam, whereabouts in your life you are, and, doing any sort of exam like high school. Um, you know what I mean? Just like there's
Yeah.
always tests, there's always like exams like that. And even the coding challenge, coding test that you get to get into an internship or a workplace, you're faced with these challenges, but they're so temporary. They're like you have a few hours to show your best,
Yeah.
to show what you know, and it all comes down to those few hours. So this exam, especially when there's so much knowledge, I guess, to be found
Okay.
in the material, where
Yeah.
we're gonna have 100 questions,
120 questions.
120 questions.
Yeah.
Oh nay. I thought it's gonna be 100, but well, 120 is not so far from 100,
Yeah.
I guess. But still, that means it doesn't matter how long you prepare, you're still gonna have those 120 questions. And there's, depending on your goals, there's still going to be a specific amount of questions that you have to answer to reach your goal. So I want to pass. I want to maybe, I don't know, decently pass, or just get a pass, so that's probably, what is it, 50? No, 40, 45 questions or something to like answer correctly.
To pass, yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess.
but still, it means that you literally have this little time. You just sit down.
I mean, this one's
Yeah.
alright. This one's not bad. Like we had exams in high school where, like, literally, I had to write answers with a pen so fast that my hand would get sore. So, like, it wasn't even like how much I can think of it. Like, literally, like the amount of time that you had was just like perfect, but not, because like I would have wished to have maybe a little bit more time. So that I wouldn't have to speed through the entire thing. But essentially, what it became is just how well can you regurgitate information.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, I think, I mean, this exam is alright.
Well, it still has
loads
loads of information. So as much as it's multiple choice, I remember in the lectures when we did the Kahoot thing, it was very hard. Half of the people wouldn't even pass the exam if it
Yeah.
was
I mean,
like
people
the
weren't
Kahoot
really
thing.
studying.
Yeah, but are they now? Am I now? I don't think that I'll be able to prepare properly for this exam
Next 3
because
days.
there's sort of not anyone to show guidance on what you have to study up on and everything. But maybe it's just,
I
maybe
think
there's these
literally, if you
specific
just listen
topics.
to the lectures, you'll be fine.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. The
I
problem with the
guess.
lectures that I had was they were long. They're 2 hour long lectures. So like, yes, they focused for the entirety. It's kind of hard, and like if you didn't get some part, then I guess it's hard to.
I sent you the sped up versions, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the versions. It's week 3 onwards.
Yeah, so it's file, let me just look it up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's just
here.
a few of them, but still it means you have to like, yeah, I guess that's where I'll start. I have watched a couple of them, so I just continue just looking.
And then the book as well.
Yes, because that is the most comfortable way for me to learn information. For example, even high school, I used to go to the lessons, and I would learn. Like I don't know, maybe it's the teachers or whatever, but the teachers I had were enough for me to learn during the class time. For
Yeah.
example, mathematics or physics. I wouldn't need to go home and grind. I would get an explanation, then I would like look at it, solve some exercises in class,
Yeah.
and be good.
Well, that's the way to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess same with lectures now, so I'll have to try and rewatch it. Yeah, but yeah, I've started noticing that when I do something else during the lectures, then I totally like miss the, I
Yeah.
don't know, just
Well, what I don't like about exams is that literally it allows me to literally just not pay attention mostly. or barely pay attention throughout the semester, just to kind of know what's going on,
Hmm.
and then be able to just cram before the exam and get it.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like that.
agree with this. Yeah, I just like the concept
It's
of exams.
like for the games thing, you know,
Hmm.
you have the entire semester and you're just working on your game.
Yeah, you have a project to make.
You have a project, but you're not going to sit like it's natural. Like not all of it is going to be exciting.
Yeah,
Some of it is just going to be sitting down and figuring something out, doing some reading,
yeah, for sure.
and
There is some dark work to be done, just like things
yeah,
that aren't apparent. So
like work, like and then you've got exams where you can either pay attention if you have the will throughout this, throughout each lecture, and then after each lecture revise your notes and understand it all, or you can, if you just barely know, like just kind of have a general idea of what's going on, you can literally study the whole thing within a week and have it, at least in this module.
yeah, well,
But
I was very overwhelmed by the 80% exam last semester. I couldn't even focus properly during the lectures then. It's like every time I go in class, I just feel this, oh my God, this exam is worth 80% of my grade. And it just didn't even allow me to get the most out of the module, despite it being very, very interesting.
right,
And I don't know. Maybe
I don't know, man.
that's also the comfort zone which we have to push out of or something. Some people are
Make
good at
it.
studying like that. I don't know.
I don't know. That was, I guess, information security, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. I quite enjoyed that one. I didn't have a problem with it being 80%. Like that didn't loom over me the entire module. But I guess that was also this semester where from the start I was like 100% there at every lecture.
Like studying and
Yeah, and library, and the entire time was just 100%. So I can't really say.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
differences in our, I guess, learning styles are.
which that 100% dropped off later on. Like, yeah, as I started falling behind and stuff. Even though like I was 100% at the start. Like for me, if I missed the thing and then understand it and then read up on it, like that was it.
Mm,
So, and that, yeah, I guess it dropped off. And throughout the rest of the semester, like towards the end of the semester, we had loads of free time. And so I was kind of, because I was class rep, I was kind of, I wasn't really pushing for it, but I asked about a reading week. Like, could we not have a reading week like every other school has a reading week?
yeah.
But they're like, oh, you could probably like speak to your, like, we can't, they can, like, it would be really hard to change it. So I was like, right, I'm not campaigning for it, but could like speak to lecturers and see, because my reasoning for it was if somebody falls behind, for whatever reason, life, it lets them, like,
Catch up.
pick up and reset essentially at the middle of the semester, and like then keep going after it. And I think it would tell people that the worst arguments I had back about that was, do you think people are actually going to use that time to study? It's like, well, you have to have some expectations of your students, so you have to put these expectations on your students, or they're never going to learn life.
Yeah, I've heard from this guy. So he graduated Cambridge a couple of years ago, but I remember him coming back from Cambridge to like, home to his parents and everything just to visit them, but
Yep.
to also study. So he would literally spend his whole days in like the public library in the city because it is too loud at home. It is too many distractions. Mom always walks in like, you want some food? Are you okay? You want some drink? Do you want to chill or whatever?
Yeah, no.
But because it's Cambridge and he was like very determined. I'm pretty sure he got like a very good like honors project, the bachelor project with some steganography and encoding data in some motion vectors, something like that. It's like, wow. When I looked at his thesis, it was, well, anyway. So he explained to me how the course goes. And you can sort of imagine it like a rubber band or more like two running bars. So one bar is filling up, which is the course progress right now, and the other bar is like how much of it you are caught up with. So it's sort of the course goes faster than you're able to digest it. But once you get like a week off, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a reading week, it may just be Christmas or whatever, he literally spends that time to just catch up and maybe go a bit ahead, because he knows that doesn't matter reading week or not, you just sit there and work, do that. But that's like something coming from a person who's very determined to do nothing else but his degree. I think that's why you would go to Cambridge, I guess, because I haven't heard too many people actually having like work outside uni, and just you have to pay your fees, you have to pay your accommodation, and spend the whole time to study. It's like a very big investment, I guess. On the other hand, I chose it completely differently. Like, I want to be able to sustain myself and pass uni. Like, I'm not fully 100% going in, expecting to get like a top-notch degree or something like. I guess I just need a degree and also connections that I make on the way. Like, even this conversation wouldn't be possible if I haven't met you,
Right. Yeah.
Maybe this podcast wouldn't even exist if I didn't come to uni and there was a radio studio and there was an opening, an opportunity to just try it out. And God knows where this is going to go. Maybe this is going to, just keep going. Maybe not. No one knows. But this is where you just go in, try, and...
Yeah, that's interesting.
I guess also get comfortable with losing if things, go.
Yeah, well, it's one of the parts of life. You have to lose. You have to learn how to lose.
Yeah, I still need to do that a lot.
To the topic, I guess. One of the things that I was thinking about at one point, and this applies to a lot of things, but I heard this idea of the comfort zone so much, like people saying to get out of your comfort zone and that. And I was like, and I usually just brushed it off. I was like, because I thought people have, or when people said the comfort zone, I just associated what getting out of that comfort zone means for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm not doing what they want me to do because I don't see any use in it. So I associated with it with an actual thing that you do. I can't remember what it would have been. Instead of like looking at my life and see what I can do in my life that maybe is outside of my comfort zone, but that I think would be beneficial or good for me. Yeah. And so at some point I realized, people have a different idea of what the comfort zone is, whether or not they understand that. And then I realized it's something to think about. Sorry?
It's relative, I guess, from everyone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sees it differently. So
yeah, that's relative.
The usual advice that you get online is to go and meet a stranger, to go and look someone in the eye for like 2 minutes until the person looks away, and like try to not get punched in the face, for looking a stranger in the eye. And like, I don't think that these practices would help me necessarily. Yeah. Like, all of these may sound like things outside your comfort zone, but actually like waking up and doing push-ups every day would push me more than that, I guess. Like,
right. And then that for other people, like getting up and doing push-ups, what does it do for them? Probably nothing. Right?
Yeah, they're just like, I go to the gym all day, every day. Maybe that doesn't affect those people, but yeah. But
well, no, but like anyone, like exercise isn't necessarily like people say, okay, it's important to exercise and everything. It's going to increase your whatever. Make you it's going to make you a more run person maybe. But the reason is because it's the thing that society looks up to, people who are fit essentially. So when you do go out and exercise, that people will not appreciate it but envy you in a way.
And so I guess you're going to feel better.
Yeah, so that's one of the things, because people just have this blank statement for exercise that it's going to make you make you feel better, but why, right? So I feel like that's something that's not really. Yeah, I feel like that's something that's not really talked about. But yeah, it's
That's true. It's a good idea. Some of it has to do with health in general. I've heard people talk about
definitely.
health a lot, and
Yeah.
yeah,
But then, yeah, people like to say that you're going to feel better, and probably, but for what reasons? And so,
mm-hmm.
I do it. Like, I'll take advantage of the opportunity to work out and feel better. But
Yeah,
it's not like there's something intrinsically about working out that makes you feel better.
yeah, maybe it's uncomfortable. It's just painful. So
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you could make yourself read a book or something like that. That's also like if you're not into reading books or if you have to study, that's also uncomfortable, right?
mm-hmm.
But and it's probably beneficial for you. But is it going to like give you a dopamine rush? It's probably not.
Yeah,
They're going to feel good about yourself, but like probably not as much. And it depends on what kind of background you have and what kind of like your like how your closest community or people close to you feel about exercise and how much they envy somebody who exercises, or are you I don't know, yeah, but it just all depends on the people around you.
yeah, true.
Because for somebody who's like in a circle of people who care all about like what's in the brain and don't care about like how ripped you are and how fit you are, like it's probably not going to do much for you. That's one of the things.
I still want to do a challenge.
I don't have studies for this. I haven't done research on this, so
it's our insights.
That's something that has to be explored. But their narrative is always, if you exercise, you'll feel good, and it depends. You probably will. But yeah, I know I do when I exercise or when I go for a cycle. But does that go for everyone? Not necessarily. So.
It used to help. Well, I say used to because it's quarantine right now. But Taekwondo would help my mind a lot too. I would have phases even where I would have something inside, like would feel something, I don't know, some anger or some frustration that I would just like want to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And the action of performing the martial art would help me out a lot. I don't know what it has to do with it, but it just like feels like you're physically letting it go.
Right.
And
it's interesting.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you've achieved something at the end of a session of Taekwondo?
Well, there's no so-called like achievement, but
as in like you've done something.
Yeah, I am happy that I got through it, and I'm also, I guess, just mentally clearer and like feeling better,
Right.
and just feel good about myself because I did the exercise. Because that's also,
so yeah, I guess that's part of the exercise that is like not regardless positive because you feel your mind's clearer and all. If you go in the fresh air or whatever, I guess as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna say something regarding that. Yeah, I suppose when if I go for a cycle, if I do some physical activity, physically straining activity, I get back home and I feel great that I've just done something. Like I did some work, no matter like what work it was, I did some work.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same way, I guess I could say I jumped on CS:GO and I trained my aim. I did some work.
Yeah.
And I feel maybe felt good for a little bit, but then look at the big picture and it's like, okay, am I going to do this full time? Does anybody in my closest circle respect this effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah.
And also,
so
I guess at the same time, you're looking into the future and sort of not only maybe caring what maybe other people think, but also you care what the future you cares. If what the future you thinks about you, because if you feel like you have potential in the esports scene, then
Right.
maybe that is very beneficial for you in the future.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is just,
yeah, of course, yeah,
beneficial for you right now to just let things go, to chill a bit with the game, but it's not really achieving anything, just like messing up your posture a bit and maybe, I don't even know, making you rage and especially playing games with toxic communities and
Yeah.
trying. But you can't always. I guess we talked about optimization, and yeah, I don't think you can always just perform at your peak potential. You have to like chill and
Yeah.
play some
Well, what I
games for
want
sure.
to say is that essentially, like, what we do is like to not care what other people think is a very short-sighted idea. It's not how we work. We always care what people think. It's why we do anything pretty much nowadays. That we don't have any immediate survival threats. We do things because we care what other people think. So it's an interesting thought exercise to look at yourself in the future and what would that future self think about what I'm doing now.
That's
or
an
whatever.
interesting topic, though. Would you maybe like to talk about this next time about caring what other people think about you?
Perhaps, yeah, maybe.
Could look into it a bit because I have some thoughts on it, but then also I feel like that is a very interesting point that you're bringing. And as much as I would like to say that I may not care about what other people think, but what's the Maslow's pyramid where the sort of self-actualization, isn't it like the top priority? Not top priority, but at the very top of the pyramid?
It was used to show us something in one of the modules this semester, and it was just, I don't think it was used right. I can't remember. I don't think it was used right. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so sort of there is the top pyramid, the top part of the pyramid is something about self-actualization. And maybe if you don't care about what other people think of your, I don't know, art or whatever you sort of create or whatever your way of self-expression is, then maybe you don't care about what other people think. But I started realizing that, maybe I actually, by creating art and creating even this podcast, we
Right.
do still feel like some sort of validation, or at least some sort of value. We want to provide any value to other people, and we really care if we're providing value to people. So that's
it's an interesting topic, and it's a highly and highly stimulating topic to discuss.
We could read up on it.
But what was the pyramid again? What's the guy's name?
Isn't it Maslow?
Maslow's, yeah.
Maslow. The Maslow's pyramid of needs, but this is needs. So psychological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. So esteem is
whatever is the thing at the top of this, like the all-knowingness at the top of this.
Well, it's just the pyramid of needs anyway. So it's like what a person needs is
there or not. But like, yes, what my belief is that yes, we entirely care about what people think is why we do things, but we can have an entire podcast on this.
So. Yeah, we can. My mistake. I said psychological. It's physiological. The lowest level is food and sleep. Then safety, love, belonging. Then esteem, which esteem is obviously, a need of validation, I guess, and self-actualization at the very top. But these people may actually reach nirvana or whatever. They depends on if it's a monk or someone else. He may not even need any sort of confirmation and validation from others. But I feel that's just as much time as we have this week.
I guess so.
Yeah, it was a very nice, interesting conversation with you.
You as well.
And looking forward to doing the same next week, same time.
Yep.
That's all from us. Thank you for listening, and see y'all later.
See ya.